I'm Rabbi Joseph Beda, and I'm speaking from Congregation B'nai Yitzchak. The holiday of Shemini Atzeret is an interesting one, in that on the surface it doesn't seem to be interesting at all. It's only mentioned in the Torah at the tail end of a previous holiday, the holiday of Sukkot. It has no mitzvot of its own, no symbols, no practices that are specific to it. And finally, it's overtaken by the simcha of Simchat Torah, which is added onto it by the rabbis at a later point in time. What's the deal with this holiday? Why is it so special, and what lesson does it have to teach us? Well, if we're paying careful attention to the Torah, we realize that the concept of Shemini Atzeret is enveloped in the idea that it's a tail end of Sukkot. And Sukkot is all about the concept of simcha, which is why the rabbis add Simchat Torah to it. And the Torah teaches us a very important lesson about simcha. It says, "V'samachta b'chagecha," you have to be happy on the holidays. But at the end of that very expression of how to be happy on that holidays, where it says you have to take care of all of the people in your family, in your household, in your city, it then says, "V'hayita ach sameach." You will then be sameach. And the concept of ach sameach is a very interesting concept, because in the Gemara, the rabbis teach us that the word ach teaches to exclude, to limit. And perhaps what the Torah is trying to tell us is that in order to have simcha, you have to limit, you have to exclude, you have to have less. And this runs counter to what many of us think and to the way a lot of us lead our lives. Many of us think that simcha is all about having more, expanding, growing, having our name all the way out there. But in the reality, what the Torah is teaching us is that true simcha comes with less, comes with siniut, comes with modesty, comes with downsizing. During this very difficult time, we've had to learn this lesson very, very difficultly. We're having to close down our synagogues, or at least limit them to the bare minimum of 10 people. We're having to not get together with the full family that we'd like to get together. We can't have simachot in the grand style that perhaps we were used to. But what the Torah is teaching us is that you don't need that to have simcha. And in fact, sometimes that gets in the way of simcha, because you think that it's the size that matters. It's not. It's the approach, it's the recognition of Hashem. And that's the message of Simchat Torah. The Torah is a very simple document. Even though it's long, and even though it takes us a year to read it, it can be boiled down to a very simple point. Recognize Hashem, who's Borei Olam, and recognize that it's our loyalty to Him that makes all the difference. Be'ezrat Hashem, if we think about that on this Shemini Atzeret, the Ach, limit it, the Torah, focus on it, the family, hold it tight and recognize that that's what matters, then Be'ezrat Hashem will be able to have a full year of Simcha. Tizkuru Shani Rabot.